what happens if the lights did go out for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks? What if people begin to get hungry because they don't have enough money to buy food? Inflation is going to continue, and the stores may continue to have food, but when people don't have enough money to buy the food, how are they going to act? If they're just doing this now for just the sheer enjoyment of it, what would people do if they were really hungry, real desperate? I want to get right into the video today. Markets still open. Dow Jones currently down 300 points. A little earlier, it was down 370. NASDAQ right now down about 250 points. I have a question for everybody out there. When is the stock market going to collapse? Please comment down below. Would love to know your thoughts on this. I know many people will probably say never. The Fed's going to keep it going forever. It's never going to collapse. I disagree. I think today is another reminder that we are not out of the woods. There's more volatility to come. And just looking at home builder stocks, how they've been just absolutely devastated this year. Airline stocks today just destroyed. We're looking at more continued layoffs, more debt, more inflation, more deficits. And one of the really concerning things is today, as I'm watching one of the business channels, is the 10-year Treasury bond yield now approaching near 3% again. That's a big problem, a big problem. Gold right now down $11, silver down about 48 cents, Bitcoin down over $2,000 today. So we're seeing more volatility and more reasons of why you better be protecting yourselves financially. Activist investor Ryan Cohen completes planned sale of Bed Bath and Beyond. Today, why are the markets not collapsing on top of all this news? But Bed Bath and Beyond, their stock has fallen over 40% today. Where are all the Robin Hooders? How much money did the Robin Hooders just lose? The gamblers, the FOMO, all these gamblers in the market who jumped in. Many of these people probably would have been better off going to Las Vegas and gambling. At least there they would have got a free drink. But we're just watching just a complete pump and dump take place in more of this Ponzi scheme stock market. It's absolutely incredible. Now Bed Bath & Beyond is completely underwater, more than likely going to have to file bankruptcy. Cohen had 9.4 million shares of their stock. And I can't stress this enough. Beware of the volatility. Beware of speculation. I think this is the time to get defensive. And there are people still out there gambling. How many millions of dollars were lost in this pump and dump? And it's the little guy who got bamboozled and suckered into this to gamble, while you know these multimillionaires and billionaires do these pump and dumps and just laughing all the way to the bank, all the way to the bank. My big concern is the biggest Ponzi scheme out there is the stock market and Wall Street. And we're going to see more pump and dumps in these markets, and it's going to be the little guy that is going to lose it all. It's going to be the 1% pumping it up and dumping it, and it's going to be the 99% that pay the price. And this is another example right here with Bed Bath & Beyond. What just happened? You're going to see more of this throughout the stock market. These big guys are totally taking advantage of the system, and the little guy believes that they're going to gamble their way into making $1 million. People just got wiped out. People just lost millions of dollars. People that got in a little too late, just annihilated, Cineworld shares plummet more than 60% on bankruptcy reports. They own Regal Cinemas. Their share today, right now, I just checked about a half hour ago, is at 19 cents. 19 cents. 5 years ago, it was $10 $2.26. It is down 98% today. It operates 9,000 theaters right here in the US. I believe they're based out of the UK. Box office ticket sales are down 30% compared to 2019. Things are not recovering, ladies and gentlemen. It's unbelievable that we're not watching the markets absolutely being crushed today. Again, it's more manipulation. How much is the Fed having to buy in order to prop all this up? Cineworld has over $9 billion in debt. So we look at the airlines plunging today, home builders in a complete recession. I mean, it is just decimation what's happened to home builders this year. Now we look at Cineworld, we look at more layoffs. Wayfair cutting 5% of global workforce. People told me that brick and mortar is falling apart, that they're closing because everybody's going to e-commerce, everybody's buying stuff online. Well, now we're seeing that a lot of e-commerce, we're seeing a lot of online business, a lot of tech laying off, getting really destroyed here because people don't have the money. Yet the stock market's down only 300 points today, Dow Jones. NASDAQ down about 250. There's so much bad news out there. We should see the markets down. And of course, the jobless claims came out yesterday. Another 250,000 Americans filed first-time jobless claims last week. And we're not seeing the markets collapse on top of this reality. These markets are in the matrix. It's unbelievable. Compass prepares for 25% downturn in housing market. Plans serious cost cutting. More layoffs coming, more cost cutting coming. But markets are not really responding that much to the reality of this economy. When is the stock market going to collapse? I believe that the economy is collapsing right before our very eyes. I believe it's going to continue to collapse a lot more. And it's going to get a lot worse for the average individual out there. But when does the stock market finally, hit the ground, bite the bullet? I believe it's going to be the housing market that takes down the stock market. I could be completely wrong. Let me know your thoughts. But there's just no way that the stock market is going to continue this journey. And they're fighting it tooth and nail, and they're spending and printing a lot of money to keep it propped up. Soaring inflation driving retired employees back to workforce. How many people out there watching this video had to go back to work? People that maybe you're watching this video and you're planning on retiring next year or 2 or 3 years down the road. Can you do that? Is it possible now for you to retire? I think we're going to see a lot more people in their 80s out there working. And we're now seeing the pension crisis coming to light. People didn't believe that that was possible, but now people are beginning to realize that our pension system across the U.S. is in big trouble, and it's going to be the taxpayer that's going to probably be on the hook for this, who's going to have to work into their 80s to pay into these pensions so that your neighbor who was a firefighter can take his boat to Lake Havasu and live off of his $100,000 a year while you're 82 years old working at Walmart in order to make sure that these people get their pension money. Maybe not. Who knows? These pensions are going to be in big trouble, and maybe we're going to see big haircuts regarding pensions. Maybe we're going to see pensions dissolve and just disappear, and some saying, hey, you're only going to get 50% of what you were promised. There have been so many promises made out there with pensions and so many promises made with all this speculation in the stock market. It's all going to come to an end. I truly do believe, and it's going to hurt so many people. So many people now have lost so much money in crypto, so much money in meme stocks and NFTs and in the stock market, losing money in their 401ks. And I truly believe this is the beginning. This is going to get much worse. The Modern Family, this on CNBC, the Modern Family, 18% of Americans live in multi-generational households. Very interesting article. 1 in 4 young adults is living with their parents or their grandparents. And the number one reason they're doing this is, well, you guessed it, it's financial. And I believe that this is probably going to be the most efficient way to save money and to pay off debt. And if people can move their pride out of the way this may be the right thing to do right now. And I know a lot of people don't want to move back home. They don't want to maybe move back in with their grandparents or their parents, or maybe they're thinking about taking in roommates or sharing a house or sharing an apartment with other people. This may be the most efficient thing you can do, but people have so much pride that a lot of people won't do it. They'd rather be drowning in debt than to pay that debt off. And in order to do that, you have to make sacrifices. And that sacrifice might be one of these options, such as moving back in with your parents. But think about where we're at today. Maybe it's a good idea to surround yourself with people like your parents or your grandparents or other family members or friends, whatever the case may be. Maybe it's a good idea now to have that circle around you, because we're going to be heading into some very turbulent times here, ladies and gentlemen, and I think it's extremely important to have good people around you. And if you have a really good family, maybe this is the right move for you. And look, it's only temporary. Maybe it's a year, maybe it's 2 years. Whatever. But right now, I think it's imperative that we are surrounding ourselves with good people. And so if you're a younger person, maybe you're an older person, but if this is what it's going to take for you to move back 12, 18, 24 months to get the debts manageable or to pay the debts down and surround yourself with good people like your family, maybe it's the right thing to do right now. So maybe it's time to get the pride out of the way. Walmart CEO Doug McMillon says even wealthier families are shopping at Walmart. Well, of course, they're shopping at the dollar stores, they're shopping at Walmart. And people who were never food insecure, people who never needed food, are now rolling up to the food banks in their nice cars because they are food insecure and they need help. We've never seen what we are seeing take place right now. We've never seen this in the history of the U.S., where people with 2 cars, a nice house, 2 kids are now going to the food banks because they need help. It's amazing. We'll help everybody in the world, but we're not helping people right here that need it. CNBC, sudden crypto market drops Bitcoin below 22,000. What do you think about that? Crypto hackers have stolen nearly $2 billion this year. And here's why it's a growing problem. Another article on CNBC. Look, you can do whatever you want to do with your money. You can buy stocks, you can buy bonds, you can buy cryptos, you can do whatever you want to do. But there is so much fraud out there and theft, and they're using technology to do this. I think it's extremely important to get back to simplicity. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. If the lights go down, if we see grids down, if we see power outages, we see cyber attacks. This is all now reality because it's happening literally every day. It's just not happening on a big, giant, broad scale yet. But there's a lot of people out there that don't like us. What a shock. And it is only a matter of time before we see an epic event take place. A major grid go down, major city, major cyber attack in our financial system, our financial institutions, our banks. What are you going to do? If you cannot get to physical money, cash, gold, silver, or barterable items, what are you going to do? There's such a reliance here now on using plastic cards and using cryptocurrencies and digits on a screen. This stuff is going to be completely worthless when we go through an event like the one I'm talking about. And look, if you want to buy this stuff, God bless you, go ahead. But make sure you have an insurance policy. Make sure that you have some cash that you can get to, some gold, some silver, some barterable items. Make sure you have this, because if the lights go out for a day, a week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, and you cannot operate your computer or your cell phone, you're in big trouble. You're in big, big trouble. People are only going to accept cash, gold, silver, or other barterable type items that are assets that they will trade. But they're not going to trade an IOU. They're not going to trade a buy now, pay later program. It's not going to happen. You're going to need something physical. So I think it's a good idea to get back to simplicity. I guess one last article I want to talk about is that they finally signed the Inflation Reduction Act, and this is going to set up a 15% minimum corporate tax rate. Guess who's paying for that? It's not going to be corporate America. It's going to be you and I. Welcome to more inflation. This is going to open up the floodgates to more inflation. They're going to print more money, borrow more money, and there's going to be higher taxes on the things that you purchase. So get ready for that. And that's why I say you got to have physical gold, physical silver. Make sure you're putting some cash away. Have a reserve of capital. Dow Jones down 300 right now. NASDAQ down around 250. It's amazing because this market, the Dow was definitely heading down 400 just a little while ago. It was down 370 and they turned it around. But I want to say one last thing before I wrap it up today. A lot of people have been sending me videos on the 7-Eleven in Los Angeles. I believe it was last night. It was ransacked by a lot of people. I don't even know how many people. A lot of people. They went into a 7-Eleven. This looked very organized, and they just ransacked it, destroyed it, looted it, stole everything, just did a lot of property damage, and just purely for entertainment, really. And I want to close with this before we head into the weekend. Are you really prepared for a shock? Are you really prepared for chaos? Because when I watch people act like animals just for fun and entertainment and doing this to a business, destroying a property in their neighborhood, in their city, for the pure fun and enjoyment because they have nothing else to do, I guess, it boggles my mind. It's quite shocking, actually. But what happens if the lights did go out for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks? What if people begin to get hungry because they don't have enough money to buy food? Inflation is going to continue, and the stores may continue to have food, but when people don't have enough money to buy the food, how are they going to act? If they're just doing this now for just the sheer enjoyment of it, what would people do if they were really hungry, real desperate? I think it could get really, really ugly out there. And as I leave you today, as we head into the weekend, are you prepared? Can you protect your family? Do you have skill sets? Do you have food? Do you have water? These are things we all really need to be asking ourselves right now. And I know there's people out there that make these videos, oh, you better have security, you better have security. Security is just not an alarm system. Security isn't just a cell phone so you can call 911, because they're not coming. The police are not coming to help you. And it's great that, you know, you have a camera so that you can see the people in ski masks that just robbed you. That's wonderful, but it's not really going to help you. And if you're in your home and that door gets kicked in and somebody wants to hurt your family, hurt your kids, hurt your wife, are you prepared to deal with it? I can tell you this, I am. I'm completely prepared to deal with it. I've covered every base possible. I promise and guarantee you that. One way I've really prepared is with personal protection. Because if you cannot protect your assets, your family, your food, your water, etc., somebody else is going to take it and own it. So think about that. Critically think this weekend, where can you strengthen up the weak points in your preparations? Maybe it's protection, maybe it's food and water, maybe it's a little gold or silver, maybe it's another skill set. Think about this weekend. Where can you make your life stronger? Where can you strengthen up preparations? And if you have a weakness, work on it and strengthen it up while you can. We still have some time, ladies and gentlemen, but time is running out. Time is not your friend, and time is a very, very important asset that people are wasting. God bless every one of you. Have a phenomenal weekend. Thank God for everything you have. Thank God for your family, your friends. Thank God that you're eating today. Thank God if you have a job today. Thank God for everything you have, because I promise you, you have it better off than somebody else. Look forward to talking with all of you very, very soon.